Hi everybody, it's PaPe Robert again, and it's been a little time since I did a last reading story. I got my cool buddy right here, Snoopy. He's gonna help me with this story, and I hope everybody's doing well. Today, we're just basically reading, and today it's gonna be called Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll. Arthur, it's only rock and roll. I hope you enjoy it, because I'll probably be having to do a lot more reading as we stay at home longer, especially when school starts. If you have a school that starts, it'll be school at home. Maybe I'll be one of your teachers. Wouldn't that be so cool? We'll see. Anyways, Arthur, it's only rock and roll. Muffy was watching a Backstreet Boys video again. How can you watch those sellouts? Said Francine. They don't care about music. They just want to make money. And so she's watching the Backstreet Boys. I don't know, who were the Backstreet Boys? I don't remember Backstreet Boys. If you had a band, said Muffy, you'd sell out in 5 minutes. If I had a band, said Francie, it would be 1,000,000 times better than the Backstreet Boys, and I'd never sell out. Muffy snorted. Oh yeah? Prove it. I will, Francine stormed out. That's Francine. Everyone wanted to try out for Francine's new rock band, but auditions weren't going well. Francine had rejected everybody so far. George came out of the music room shaking his head sadly. Next, shouted Francine. There's Francine. She's trying to audition for her own new band, but she's not too happy with all the band players trying to audition. I guess she just wanted a little more out of them. What do you think, Snoopy? You think you'd be good in a band? I bet he would be cool. I can't believe I auditioned 14 people and they all stank. Except you, of course, said Francine. You know what they say, honey? Mrs. Grady said. If the mountain won't come to Muhammad, then Muhammad must go to the mountain. Go to the mountain, said Francine. So who are the best musicians we know? Francine went to Binky's house first. Will there be snacks? Binky asked. Francine nodded. Okay, said Binky, I'm in. Then Francine asked Molly and Fern to join her band. Francine wanted them, but not us, said Buster. He and Arthur couldn't believe it. And there's Francine being told, try to go find somebody else that might be really good. And there's Binky. And these guys got declined. Francine didn't like them. But these are the friends she was looking for. Maybe they're all experienced. We'll see. At the band's first rehearsal, Francine was very excited. Guess what, she said. Mr. Haney wants us to perform at the PTA fundraiser. But we don't even have a name yet, Molly said. We'll think of something, said Francine. Let's play. Stop the noise, yelled a neighbor. You stink! You stink too, yelled Francine. You, we see the pretty boys. That's what they're singing. And that's your first band practice. But the neighbors are, they stink. At the PTA fundraiser, Mr. Haney introduced the band. I'm pleased to present the musical stylings of you. He paused. Stink! The whole band yelled out. They started to play. The audience went wild. You stink! You stink! You stink! The crowd chanted. And that's where they're playing in their first band, and they're called You Stink. Do you stink? You stink? Okay. The next day at school, the TV show Almost Live wanted to interview Francine. So what's next? Asked the reporter. Another concert? A record deal? A tour? Music isn't about making money, said Francine. You Stink will never sell out. We'd rather quit. Ooh, so that's what she wanted to do. After school, Francine told Fern and Binky what had happened. We could have been on TV, said Fern. No way, said Francine. We're not sellouts. The Tibble twins ran over. Aren't you Francine Frensky? Asked Jimmy. Can we have your autograph? Asked Tommy. It's You Stink, shouted some other kids. Francine walked away, but the others stayed behind to sign autographs. Let's form our own band, said Arthur. It can't be that hard, said George. It's only rock and roll. And we could call our band We Stink, said Buster. Perfect, said Arthur. See, that's the band from everybody else. But there's Arthur and the other ones that did not make their own band because Francine didn't like them. So they're going to try to make their own band. And page is a little challenging. Next thing you know, later that day, Francine saw Binky, Fern, and Molly on TV. What are your plans? Asked the reporter. Well, said Fern, maybe we could make a CD or some action figures, Binky said. Francine was furious. Those traitors. At rehearsal, Francine was still angry about the TV interview. Those people want us to sell out, she said. It's not selling out to go on TV, said Fern. It is so, said Francine. Binky, do you want to sell out? He thought for a minute. Maybe I need new pants. That's it, Francine said. I'm leaving You Stink, 'cause you stink. And she's not really happy because they went on TV and Francine didn't want that because that means they'd have to make money. And there she is not happy with them and she's not going to be part of the band anymore. Whoa. But they were pretty good if they would got a chance to go on TV. The next morning, Mr. Haney announced that You Stink would be performing at the city's library's book sale. Francine overheard Muffy and Prunella talking about You Stink. What happened to Francine? Asked Muffy. Oh, she quit the band, Prunella said. The real news is that I just got tickets to the Backstreet Boys concert. My father's sponsor, Muffy said, so I get to go backstage. And there she is. There she is. Francine's right there hearing all about the Backstreet concert. And there's You Stink. They're popular names all over the place. And whoa, what is she doing that we have to do all the time right now in the bathroom? She's washing her hands with the hand soap. That's what we should be doing. Got to do it even more and more and more and more. Meanwhile, We Stink was having its first rehearsal. I hate to tell you guys, hollered DW, but you stink. No, Arthur said, we stink. Our name is We Stink. That's what I said, DW answered. You stink. Arthur, can't you rehearse outside? Shouted Mom. We need the piano, yelled Arthur. And this is the new group trying to form We Stink. You know, that's what they want to do. So they're all trying to rehearse. But Mom's like, I don't know about this. Because they stink. Well, maybe that's another name. They stink. With Francine gone, You Stink had to rehearse at Fern's house. We can't keep playing the same thing over and over, said Mrs. McGrady. Can anyone write music, Molly asked, besides Francine? Mrs. McGrady, Fern, and Pinky shook their heads. No. The next day, Muffy had plans to make You Stink famous. I'm your new manager. I've decided we'll do a video and send it to the Backstreet Boys. Then we'll go on tour with them. Then she stopped when she saw Francine's angry face. Sell out, Francine said to Fern and stalked away. They're trying to practice without Francine, which she was very good at writing music and stuff, but she just doesn't want to sell out money and tickets and stuff. But they were trying to do something. But they're having a hard time trying to do the band You Stink without Francine. Later that day, Francine decided to join the competition. She offered to drum for We Stink. But they hadn't played for long before Francine stopped them. George, can't you sing on key? She asked. What's on key? Asked George. You guys are terrible, said Francine. You need more players, good ones. Hey, this is our band, said Buster. If you don't think we're good enough, well, I quit. Me too, said Arthur. And she was trying to get involved with the We Stink band. They didn't really want much of that. At the Backstreet Boys concert that night, the reporter from Almost Live saw You Stink waiting in line. What's new with You Stink, she asked. Nothing, that's the problem, said Molly. We need a new drummer, a new song. We do not, said Fern. What about my new song, said Binky. It hurts my ears, Molly said. The three of them began to argue. Is this the end of You Stink, said the reporter. Stay tuned. Well, it looks like the band You Stink is having a little squabble problems. And we'll see what happens. Backstage, Muffy jumped into the elevator with Nick. Just as it began to move, she pushed the stop button. What happened? Nick said. We seem to have stopped, said Muffy. So let me tell you about the deal of a lifetime for you and the boys, which is the Backstreet Boys. She pulled down a slide screen. It's the chance to tour with my band, You Stink. Here's how the profits look. The other boys stood behind the stage curtain, waiting for Nick. The audience was getting restless. Can't you guys go on without Nick? Mr. Crosswire asked. Kevin shook his head. We need him. Did anyone check the elevator? Asked AJ. And there's Nick. He's listening to one of the girls from You Stink. Maybe they'll do better. Working with the Backstreet Boys. They're the Backstreet Boys. Wondering where Nick was, the leader of the Backstreet Boys. Muffy answered the elevator phone. Hi, Daddy, she said. No, I haven't closed the deal yet. The boys need Nick to start the concert, said Miss Crosswire. I can't hold off the crowd forever. Muffy pushed the start button, but nothing happened. She pushed it again, and still nothing. Daddy, we really are stuck, Muffy said. She paused. But I have an idea. Mrs. Crosswire went to the microphone, and there's been a slight delay with the boys, but I'd like to announce that You Stink is here, and their manager says they'd love to perform for you. I can't go up there, gasped Binky, not without Francine. You have to, Binky, said Marlene. Francine? We really need you, Francine, said Fern. Will you come with us, please? After a moment, Francine smiled. All right, let's rock. And so they couldn't make it back to the band, but Francine showed up. And there was the You Stink group, and they get a chance to start the show for the Backstreet Boys. On stage, Francine looked out at the huge crowd and froze. Francine, we need a beat, said Molly. Francine, whispered Fern, but Francine couldn't move. Then she heard a voice in her ear. It was Brian. Don't look at the crowd. Just think about the music. Francine took a deep breath and started playing. Fern began to sing. Her voice was shaky. Then Kevin's voice joined in. Then AJ and Howie D began to sing too. The boys harmonized with You Stink and even made up a new verse. The song was better than ever. By the end of the song, Nick had joined everyone on stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Francine was really scared at first, but she finally got in, and all the Backstreet Boys were in there, and they all got comfortable, and they began singing a song together. You Stink got to watch the rest of the concert from backstage. Wow, Francine said. They're really good. It's only the beginning for You Stink, Muffy said. Today, Elwood City, tomorrow, the world. No way, said Binky. I don't like crowds. I have to quit. Me too, said Molly. This blister on my finger is killing me. And I miss playing bingo, said Mrs. McCready. But everyone loved us, said Fern. Yeah, Francine agreed. Are you guys want to quit? Molly, Binky, and Miss Grady all nodded. Boy, I guess it was really challenging for them. But now they want to quit because, it's kind of scary. There's a lot of work to going into music with a band. After the show, Francine apologized to the boys. I'm sorry I called you sellouts, Francine said. You guys are really good musicians. It's okay to want fame. Just don't forget the most important part, music. Howie G handed Muffy her pie chart and slides. Very professional. You could be our manager, he joked. Did you hear that, said Muffy. Maybe in a few years I can reunite You Stink and the Backstreet Boys on tour. It's actually pretty smart for You Stink to break up. It'll create demand. It'll create buzz. She's just dreaming away of what to do with the group You Stink. And that is the end of the story about Arthur and It's Only Rock and Roll. Well, I thought it was a cute, good story. I thought maybe we could say adios, goodbye, sing a song maybe in a bit. I don't know. Maybe I'll surprise you. We'll see. Thank you for another reading story from PaPe Robert Productions at Stayed at Home Studios. Bye. Hey, I thought you liked that story. How about a little skit from me? A little rock and roll? Well, maybe not. Kind of their favorite songs, I think. Somebody knows and likes it. I'll see if I can do it. Try it. We'll take it like it is. What do you think, Snoopy? I don't know. We'll see. You ready? Brush your fangs when you wake up. Comb your hair, do your makeup. Sleep at night, don't stay up. Do it like the zombies do. Don't stand out when you're fitting in. When in doubt, do the opposite. Don't listen to him, he's a hypocrite. Do it like the zombies do. All you gotta do is give an inch, then we're gonna take it to the top. Do it like the zombies do. When the moon is full, no howling, oh. Don't run in the halls, no growling. Grrr. Let's go to the malls, our styling, yeah. Do it like the zombies do. Trim your clothes, get a manicure, cut your bangs, leave it on the floor. Now wag your tail like a Labrador. Do it like the zombies do. Do it like the zombies do. I guess not. Bye. Well, after that little skit, or I tried. So how about if I just call myself I Stink?